I've ran a lot of commercials that said knowledge is power, and I believe that. But I did watch a movie clip recently. I think it was on, I don't know, TikTok or Facebook's, how reels are all the thing right now. And it had a reel, I don't know the name of the movie, but it was kind of medieval in setting. There was a guy dressed in black with a cross around his neck, and he whispered to a woman also dressed in black, "Knowledge is power." And she responded, "Seize him! Cut his throat!" And her minion bodyguards grabbed the guy and had the knife right to his throat. She goes, "Stop!" And they stop. She goes, "Never mind. I changed my mind. Let him go." Just very casually. So they let him go. She said, "Now take 3 steps back from him." And the bodyguards took 3 steps back. She says, "Now turn around and close your eyes." And they did. And then she walked up to the guy that was just in shock and horror, almost killed, and said, "Power is power." And I immediately thought of the IRS. Obviously, this is what I've done for the last many decades. It's how I spent most of my career dealing with IRS. And truthfully, they have power. They have unbridled power. They have more power than any other entity I know. They can do things that if I was to do them, it would be illegal. So they have power. But what good is knowledge? Well, knowledge is the tool you use to get around their power. I mean, I wouldn't dream of taking on the IRS unless I really understood appeals and how to file them and what kind of rights do you have in those appeals, and different appeals have different rights. But still, the appeal goes to the IRS. And even tax court, if you think about it, there are certain appeals that you can, and only a few, very precious few, you can take all the way to tax court. Well, it's a tax court, and those are appointed judges. So ultimately, they really have a lot of power. It's tremendous. They can do things that are they can take your stuff. They can take your bank accounts very easily with just a letter, basically. They can write your employer, take your wages. So they can take your money and your hope of getting money. They can seize your house. They can take your car. They have power. I can't do any of those things. Thank God, I really don't want to. So knowledge is very important, though, because ignorance is not bliss within the IRS. If you don't know what to do, what recourse do you have? If you don't know how to file an appeal or how to set up a payment plan, what is your option? Your option is to quit your job. But that's not really that blissful, because when you get another job, your employer, when they send you an W-2, they send it to the IRS as well. And so the IRS can just turn around and levy you again. So you're just kind of doomed to go from job to job to job unless you have knowledge on what the IRS wants to stop the madness. How do you stop a levy? Well, there are ways. And what appeals are available to you? Well, there are a few. Some have more power than others, but it's really good to know which is which and which to use. And then even in setting up a payment plan, do you know the rules to get the lowest payment? Because you can always pay more. Let's say you set up a payment plan for $100 a month. There's no penalty for paying $300 a month. It's just like a credit card. It just reduces your debt. So how do you know the lowest amount that you can offer them that they'll take? Well, that's knowledge. And then in an offer and compromise, did you know in an offer and compromise, you can do everything absolutely right and they can still say no? They don't have to accept an offer. They don't have to accept your arguments. But if you know the rules, you have your best opportunity to have them accepted. You wouldn't want to put something on the form that really makes it easy for them to say no. So your knowledge is really important. So there's 2 ways to go about it. You can pay for knowledge. I have a firm, Advanced Tax Solutions, and it's a professional firm. So we do it for people, but it's expensive. Average offers and compromises are $7,000, $8,000, even 10 or more. And if you own a business, it can get quite expensive. So offers are a great product, but they take about a year. And if you're paying somebody, it's quite expensive. So another way to get knowledge is I started a company called Do It Yourself IRS Help. The website's DIYIRShelp.com. And I teach line by line, going through the forms, how to submit your own offer and what the IRS is looking for, what to put on the form and what not to put on the form. And it also explains not only the IRS's directions, but what they don't tell you. They don't tell you things like you can exempt a certain amount of cash. They will tell you you can exempt $1,000, but they don't tell you in the directions that you can also exempt 1 month's worth of living expenses. That's far more than the $1,000. There's all kinds of things in there that the IRS doesn't really tell you. And if you offer too much, they're not under any obligation to tell you otherwise. So I have the DIYIRShelp.com. And in it, you can buy the payment plan module that explains how the IRS payment plan rules work. What's the lowest amount of payment you can pay. And then an offer and compromise module. There's one for wage earners, and there's an offer and compromise module specific to small business owners. So you can get the knowledge you need to do it on your own, but it's still a lot of work. Obviously, it'll take you, a total of probably a year, 10 months to a year. So if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and do the work, you have the tools and the knowledge necessary to move forward. And I hate to say do battle with the IRS because you can't win that one, but you can certainly negotiate around their power with knowledge. But ultimately, they have the power. There's no doubt about it. But knowledge will help you. It's your only tool, and it's your only true help. So if this sounds good to you, if you need professional help, there's Advanced Tax Solutions. I'm the founder of Advanced Tax Solutions, and when I first started it, I started under my name. But 30 years ago, I started this company, and it's pretty much all I do is IRS resolution for decades now. And then if you don't have that big of a problem, or you simply can't afford professional help, I would highly recommend do-it-yourself-irshelp.com. It's DIY-IRShelp.com. DIY, do-it-yourself, DIY-IRShelp.com. And there, for less than $1,000, far less than $1,000, you can do your own offer and submit it with a good chance of winning if you do the work. And then for less than $100, you can have the knowledge that you need to get the lowest payment plan. And then you can always pay more, but if you get a high payment plan and you miss a payment, you have to start over, and you might even end up in worse shape. So advancedtaxsolutions.com or DIYIRShelp.com. Hope we can help you. And check out our blog at DIYIRShelp.com too. And I've posted an article recently in there about the power the IRS has in collection matters. It will blow your mind. It really will. So anyway, DIYIRShelp.com. I hope it helps. Good luck.